100%. No one in the NFL is taking steroids. So me personally, I feel comfortable.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. I don't know if we talked about this before, but the tattoo game, right? Like, are you going for the full cover? Are you gonna get everything done? Like your whole body? What's going on with that?
It's time to fight. I'm done for now. Yeah, I've just never really had any time for it, I guess, and then broke my hand, and just one of those things. Broke my hand, then broke my arm, so I had some time to kill. And
Yeah.
how do crazy people kill time? That's obviously how we do it.
Exactly, with crazy things. Yeah, it's interesting how fast. Because I think before you got your first one with Josh Kuhn, like I don't even know, maybe a month before that, you were telling me like you made a deal with your parents that you wouldn't get any tattoos as long as they would let you fight. That deal must have expired or something, right?
Um, nah, just fell into it, mate. Nah, they'll be
Um,
all right. They'll be all right. They're lovely people. They'll um they'll come around eventually. They still
I'm
don't like
sure.
them. They still think I look terrible now, but they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a big boy.
yeah. You prove that. You prove that. Before we get into your fight coming up, I just wanted to ask you about a couple things that are going on in the world, right? Like Francis Ngannou. A lot of people say he fumbled the bag. Like, what'd you see in that fight, man? Did he fumble the bag?
No, no, like I don't think anyone thought he was going to do that good. Um, to go the distance, to drop him, for it to be a split decision like that has to get chalked down as a win. Like, not even I thought he would um, do that incredibly. Like, they're definitely like Tyson Fury is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and to go out there and do that to him was, yeah, it was just blew me away.
Yeah, definitely blew me away because like you see guys that are MMA fighters going over to like kickboxing or Muay Thai and the levels show, you know what I mean? Because those guys are specialists in striking, but Francis going in there and doing that to Tyson Fury, it's shocking in a way.
Incredibly shocking. Incredibly shocking. It was that's the what that's the best an MMA fighter's ever done against a boxer in a boxing match. Um, ever, ever. We've never looked better against a standard boxer than that. Obviously, like Anderson Silva, um, Anthony Pettis, stuff like that, but nothing on that magnitude. The lineal heavyweight champion to go split decision and to drop him, can't fathom it.
Yeah, madness and now you got like top boxers wanting to fight the UFC champions. A little bit more now
Yeah,
it seems like.
terrible idea. I think heavyweight is a unique weight class. No matter what, that's why there's so much prestige about the heavyweight champion or anything. Like obviously UFC heavyweight champion like means that you're the number one, means you're the best fighter in the world, baddest man on the planet. You know what I mean? There's something special about it, and it's only really the power and the weight of the guys like changes the game. I think if it comes down smaller and you see UFC champions of like lighter weight classes fighting guys like Canelo and stuff like that, it's something. Yeah, like I do a lot of mad stuff. I'd fight. I do a lot of mad fights. It would take some dough to fight Canelo. It would take some dough to get hit by him. Like you see what he did to the last guy, like professional, undefeated professional boxer, and Canelo hits you on the arms, and you just go, "Fuck it, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna stand here." Like he just didn't. He didn't even want to. He didn't even want to engage with him. He didn't want to fight with him. That's how hard Canelo hits. Gonna punch you on the arm and make you just completely rethink your life decisions.
Yeah, definitely, man. Canelo's a whole nother level. Um, let's get into it, man. UFC Austin. It was in, it was rumored, you know what I mean, for a long time. Bobby Green. I read the article from the New Zealand Herald. Shout out to Chris Reeve. This fight was supposed to be originally the main event. How did this fight end up as the co-main event?
Above my pay grade, Papa, I wouldn't have. I'm not privy to those conversations, sir. Yeah, I got the belt. You want to fight Bobby Green? Main event in Austin. Jumped on it. Love Texas. Love performing there. Love fighting there. Love the state. I'm a Texan at heart. Um, yeah, and then I just saw Dana White announce the fight with Beneil and Armin. I knew that fight was on the card or scheduled for the card, so I was like thinking that was going to be the main event anyway. So I was I was a bit surprised when they offered me the main event. So it makes sense, right? Like, makes the whole number game look a little silly if you have two guys rank lower get put ahead. It takes away from like the rankings, and I don't know. That gives people some kind of idea that this is a sport and not entertainment. So we got to keep, yeah, we got to keep that idea alive. You know what I mean? We ranked it. And it all makes sense. It's stupid. Number 100 could be number one on any given day. That's anyway.
Well, when you look at like name recognition and momentum and just being out there in front of fans, it makes sense that you and Bobby Green would be the main event. Like I think a lot of people probably think that.
Yeah. No, like it is what it is. Like I think it makes sense to have them fight in the main event too.
All right. Well, the 5 rounds thing, what I mean? Like we rarely see that. I don't think we've ever seen that on a fight night card, a co-main event 5 rounds. On pay-per-view, we've seen it from my knowledge,
Yeah.
but why I don't know. Like, did you agree to that? Like, is there I don't know what's going on with that.
No, like I'm sitting in the seat as everyone else. Like I was like got told, "Want to fight Bobby main event?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll fight Bobby main event." And then they go, "You got announced as the co-main event." So I was like, "Oh, co-main event's 3 rounds, right?" I was like, "Man, way less work." I was like, "Way less work. Cool, I'll do that." And then uh, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't spoken to the UFC. I would assume that if they didn't want it as the main event, I assume then it's a 3 round fight.
And
That
because
makes
now
sense, right? Like,
yeah,
but
for
that
sure.
makes sense, right?
Yeah. 1+1 = 2, right? Like it makes complete
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the difference between you maybe 2 years ago, because you were managing yourself, and now you actually have a management team behind you where there's kind of like a buffer zone where you don't really know everything about the situation, and they're kind of taking
Oh,
care of it for you, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. You like yeah, because like it's hard to get. Yeah, there's a buffer. It's hard to get. It's hard to pull my primitive instincts. Like it's very easy to get a fighter to do something. It's very easy to get a like we all hang out. Man, it's funny when we all hang out together with each other. We're at the pub and then, oh, bro, I bet you can't do this. Like, oh, if you don't do it, you're weak. He'll do it. Like it's a fighter's mentality. Like how easy it is to be a fighter. Oh, you don't want to fight 5 rounds. Oh, you're scared. Are you scared? It's like it's funny that they could use that as like a business tactic.
But it
They could
works.
just be like, "Are you scared? Are you scared?" It's like a business tactic, and like if anyone in like a boardroom said that in like a business sense, like if you don't sell your company for cheap, you're scared. You'd be like, "No, I'm just not stupid." So think that's the situation now. I feel like you could have goaded my primitive instincts and tricked me into doing things like a
Yeah.
lot more easy. And they know that, so it's good to put like a
You got a shield now. You got a shield in front of
yeah, I
you.
got, I got, I got a shield to stop me from doing stupid stuff.
And the article also said that you're in negotiations for like a contract extension. What is the status of that? Do you know anything?
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. My job, just show up and have a fight. Like
Hmm.
I know, tickets are booked. I'm going to Austin. I'm gonna fight Bobby Green. It's gonna be wild. Fans are gonna love it. It's gonna be must see TV. I know that for a fact. Um, I don't care about the paperwork. I don't care about the paperwork. We'll get that. That's never stopped me from a fist fight. That's never gonna get in the way of me showing up and doing my job.
And before this Bobby Green matchup, was put together, there was some rumors out there that you were angling to get a rematch with Dustin Poirier for your next fight. Is there any truth to that?
So where that come from? I was doing a Q&A in Sydney. After everyone weighs in, and it was like UFC Sydney. I went over as a guest fighter. It was a Q&A with Justin Gagey. Me and Justin Gagey and Kai were doing a Q&A, and they go, if you could fight anyone next, like don't worry about rankings or da da da. Like, who would you pick? And I said, oh, like Poirier, it would be cool. It was a fun fight. It'll be fun. And then somehow that went to like I was gonna wait. Somehow, yeah. Somehow there was like a headline. Then someone said, this is Moicano said, Dan Hooker's waiting for Dustin Poirier. Like, just making shit up, bro. Just making shit up. Just making shit up to try and trick me into a fight. And that's the funny thing about it. It's nothing I love more in the world than genuine conflict. With genuine conflict with someone, and you sort that out with a fight. That is one of the most satisfying feelings in the absolute world. But manufactured conflict is like can't get me to do anything. You know what I mean?
Did you appreciate that Moicano called you out on that interview?
I appreciate when everyone calls me out. I appreciate. I love it. I love it when anyone calls me out. That's like the buffer system as well. That's the buffer system as well, because I'm so easy to trick. I'm so easy to trick. All you have to do. Well, I messaged Ash after Moicano called me out. I messaged Ash and was like, "Let me smash Moicano's face in December," and he was like, "That's dumb. Like, obviously, just wait." He goes, "Just wait. We'll see. We'll see how things play out. We'll see how things." I messaged him like every day for a week, like Moicano, let me smash Moicano. But I have a
Well,
buffer. I have a shield system. I'm no
yeah.
longer. I've upgraded the software. I'm no longer stupid enough to trick.
There you go. And let's get into Bobby Green, man, and his style. You mentioned, it's a must-watch TV, but like the style though, with the hands down and like getting close into rate, like this is a wild style, man, to be fighting the top dudes in the world, right?
Nah, it's just like it's just like it just it's high level stuff all put together at once. Like he can just do a lot of like pretty much like he can Philly shell from both stances in MMA, which is crazy. Like it has a lot of advantages. Um, to me, like a guy like Yuri fights with his like hands low and down. He's wild. I think he's wild. I don't think Bobby Green's wild. I think Bobby Green has it's a very unique style because it takes a lot of technical understanding to piece it together, especially at that level. Um, it's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's wild.
What about the gamble that Grant Dawson took, man? He was undefeated in the UFC. He was rising up the ranks, and then he fought Bobby Green in the main event, and now just kind of derailed all of that, right? Because it's just, man, you understand taking risks.
Hey, life's a gamble, Carnal. Life's a risk, bro. Life's a risk. What are you gonna do? Like the sport's a risk. Why not take the most risk? Risk versus reward. You know what I mean? Like if you up the risk, the reward is bigger. He would have been coming in hot. He would have been coming in hot. Probably, yeah, ranked in the top 10, winning a main event. He would have had everyone calling him out.
But now He doesn't
But
now.
now,
Bobby Green.
that's the game, bro. Back
Yeah,
of the line. Been there, done that.
for sure. And going back to your last fight, a lot of people look at the arm, but did you get any fractures on your face? Was that also something that you had to heal from?
Oh, by the time the arm was sweet, the face
Yeah.
was well and truly fine.
Okay. Okay. And we see the highlight of you like eating that head kick from Jalen Turner. Like, how did you like? People want to know, like, what? How did you just eat that and just walk forward? You know what I mean? Like, it's like how do you explain something like that?
How do you explain something like that? Um, Physics. It's just physics. Honestly, it's just physics. Like you get caught in the right place, something a lot, something a lot softer than that, something a lot um, less power than that, but you're turning into it, or you're doing something else, or you're looking the other way. It's physics, man. Like I've been hit with I've been hit with a lot worse shot and been a lot more um, compromised.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the hardest you've ever been hit because it looked like it was flush. You know what I mean? Like people are
Nah.
going crazy. They're going mad, man. They're like, how did he do that? Like, what is he made of? It's blonde version of Dan Hook. You know that whole thing was going around, right? He dyed his hair. Like he's
It's just
another unlocked character.
just physics, just
Mm.
physics, brother.
So in this one, right? What do you think are, you mentioned risk and reward, right? We know the risk, but what do you think the reward is for the victor in this fight against?
Bro, momentum. You like, let's say whoever out of me and Bobby Green knocks the other one out, highlight reel knockout. Who else like in the division has as much momentum as you do? Not talking about win streak or anything like that. I'm talking about like momentum. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to see Gamrot fight again? No one. Who? Have the momentum. Like people, the bigger name guys, the guys that the elites, the guys that have really got something to lose, the guys that are really risking their name. Um, they'll want to fight the guy with the most momentum coming in, not the guy who beat this guy. You know what I mean? Like it's just what it is. I'm not like trying to knock Gamrot too much, but like he's coming off like an injury. Like it was like a knee kick and hurt himself. You didn't like really beat anyone technically, but not. It didn't get any. He didn't get any momentum off of that.
Speaking of Gamrot, when they announced that Charles Oliveira was out of the fight, and then Volk stepped in to fight Islam, Gamrot, I think he openly said that he's gonna fly to Vegas and confront Dana White. Do you think that rubbed the promotion a little bit wrong with those kind of comments? Like he was saying some wild things, man.
I bet he didn't. I bet he didn't. I bet he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
say shit. Don't say shit you're not gonna do.
USADA, the relationship with the UFC is over at the end of the year. Are you happy or are you just
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Until someone until someone smarter than me explains to me what it all means, I'm not gonna read all the paperwork. You know what I mean? Someone like yourself is gonna right now explain the situation to me. Who is taking over? Because it's obviously not a free for all, right? Once we finish, so who's taking over?
the same governing body, right? Um, that controls the drug testing for like the NFL and the NBA. They're taking over.
100%. No one in the NFL is taking steroids. So me personally, I feel comfortable.
You can sleep at night knowing that.
I can sleep at night knowing someone did tell me that the guy that the guy that interrogated Saddam Hussein
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
taking over. What are you gonna waterboard guys to see if they have steroids? You know what I mean? You're gonna tie me down and waterboard me? Have you had any steroids for this fight? No. So wow, well, like what kind of interrogation tactics can he use?
Yeah, it's like
Anyway,
interrogating is not going to make you piss faster, right? It's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Yeah, it's
You're
wild,
getting
man.
like, you're getting like, you're trying to pee, and he's like burning you with a cigarette, like,
burn your ass with cigarette butts and shit. Like it's
you're
gonna be
standing there,
wild. Yeah, you're fucking around. Yeah, man. I'm interested to see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, you saw that they did their thing, but there were a lot of mistakes made over the years. I wonder if these guys are gonna do a little bit better. But like you said, the NFL definitely
yeah,
doesn't have dudes on steroids, so we'll see what happens.
yeah, like, yeah, yeah. You sort of have been fucking up. You
You
know what
know,
I mean?
you know.
You sort of been fucking up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
not for me, but man, guys like Neil Magny,
Mhm.
guys who are like lived with, trained with. I know that guy 100% would never take a steroid. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that 100%. And he was careful with his supplements and stuff like that. And he still got popped for his supplement. And I was like, oh, that's an honest mistake. That's an honest guy making an honest mistake. And had to sit on, I don't know how long he sat out, like a year, 2 years. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Ruined guys' careers, like ruined their livelihoods. Oh,
The last thing I want to get into with you is, you've been around the world, a few times, training here and there. You've been to gyms where it's a new environment, new teams, and you've gone in there and trained with them. So there's this whole thing with Ian Garry and Leon Edwards. Have you been watching this thing about how Ian
uh,
Garry went in?
cheers, bro. Nah, I'm not looking like too deep into it.
Mhm.
I just know that like Leon doesn't want him cross training there, right? Like
Yeah.
Leon doesn't want him dropping in and training. That's fair. He's a champ, bro. You get to call the shots. Like there's another guy who comes and visits, like same division, might end up fighting him one day. Like
Mhm.
makes sense. Makes sense.
What do you think of guys like Ian Garry, who's going around and like going to gyms where he's gonna potentially fight dudes and try to trade with them? Like, is it like something that maybe it's unintentional, or do you think that's like, yo, like, what are you doing? We know exactly what you're doing. Like, don't go around and
Pros and cons, bro. Like there's pros and cons to every approach. Like Sean Strickland took that approach. Like went around, he'll train anyone, he'll fight any. Like he experiences all these different styles of so many people. It has its advantages, but I'm sure there's like a lot of guys around the world who know like where they have their advantages against Sean Strickland. There'll be a lot of guys in a lot of gyms that are thinking right now, maybe like early pros or even like good amateurs, like, man, when I get there, I know how I can get the better of that guy. You know what I mean? So it has its advantages. It has its advantages. Being a part of now, like going and experiencing all of those styles, like myself, and then being now in like quite a close knit team, I would say like cities like an invitation only team. Like you gotta know another guy, or you gotta or Eugene has to like you for you to be able to come and train with us. Yeah, there's pros and cons to each approach, I think.
so advice would be when you're like not a name or you're not in the UFC or the bigger promotions, it's probably better for you to go cross train around because nobody knows who you are. But then when you get to
Yeah,
that level,
yeah,
it's
but
like
like there's
find your thing.
there's there's examples of everything. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Floyd Mayweather, you think he just like went and trained around and trained with whoever? Like Israel went and he doesn't go and uh, spar like random dudes. Like Huge wouldn't let him do that
Yeah,
because they're like a very close knit team. Like not a lot of people know what he's doing and his style, and because every style can get figured out.
oh, for sure.
It's, it's the art of war, baby. You gotta you gotta hide your approach at some stage.
For real. Yeah, that's right. It's the art of war, baby. That's perfect. It is, man. Every style can be beat if if you have the right people around you to figure it out, right? Um, man, December 2nd, co-main event, Bobby Green, Austin, Texas. Like you said, it's like your second home now in America. Yeah, how many times have you fought there? A few, right?
Twice I fought in Houston, and then I fought James Vick in San Antonio, which is like an
Mm,
hour away from Austin.
yeah.
Love San Antonio. I'd love to get out there. I'm obviously going to check out Austin during fight week. I would love to get out to San Antonio again. I absolutely love San Antonio and the Mexican flavor mixed in with the
Yeah.
barbecue. Oh,
Yeah. You're gonna be light
cowboy
heavyweight
hats,
Dan Hooker.
cowboy
You're gonna be
hats,
light
cowboy
heavyweight
hats,
Dan Hooker. Yeah.
cowboy hats, cowboy boots. I'm getting to that age where that's cool. You'll get there one day, boys. You'll get there
You'll
one
get
day.
there.
When someone comes walking in like a nice shirt, nice belt,
Yeah.
nice boots, nice hat, you go, Phew, like that guy. That guy is cool. You know what I mean? That guy's got his act together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Are we gonna finally get Dan Hooker on the Rogan podcast? You're in Austin, man. Like, could we
Is
get
that where
that?
he does it? Is that where he does
Yeah.
it? Where's Bobby Green from?
He's from California,
Oh, okay.
I believe. Yeah, California.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Get Ash on the phone. Get Ash on the
Get
phone.
that shot. Yeah. Oh, whatever happens, happens, bro.
Exactly. I understand. Oh, damn, man. I appreciate you always, man. And enjoy the rest of the camp. I know you enjoy every single moment. You're kind of one of the rare guys still around that enjoys all of it and enjoys like just getting in fights. Like it's a rare breed that's not around much. Don't you believe? Like there's not many guys. Like there's guys like you and like Ty Tuivasa that
Nah,
way.
nah. Oh, we're all like different people and stuff like that, but like
Yeah.
genuinely love it. Like yeah, like you think about how many people I've trained with in like my entire life, and how many other probably like a handful of me's who like you bump into them and you're just like, we just end up having a fight. So it's like it's quite funny.